Okay, today we're going to be talking about farming and prospecting, and basically kind of figuring out the best ways to help you get new clients. And, again, when we're talking about farming and prospecting, we're talking about actions that we take to gain new clients or new listings that you can add into your database or things that you can advertise. This can be done in a couple of different ways, and the main ones are directly reaching out to consumers, or reaching out to your sphere of influence to either help one of them or to expand out from there. And the important thing to remember is that this is not taking out someone that you're currently working with, right? Though those people are a great source of referrals, and talking to them about the services you provide can be a way to expand and to prospect. But again, part of that is just reminding people that you've worked with in the past, be it renting, selling, helping find a commercial space, whatever it is. All the things that you can do, right? I don't only do rentals, but if you're thinking about buying, I can also help you with that. And the great thing is there's no broker's fee, right? Things like that. So I think one of the most important things that I don't think we talk about enough, or we don't really think about enough, is what is your value as an agent, right? We all need to have a value proposition that we can accurately let people know what we can do for them, right? And what services that we provide to them. You can tailor this to the value that the people you're going after, right? So if you're going after buyers, you can target it to how you work with buyers. But remember to always, in any communication you have, let people know everything that you do, right? When we're sending out a mass email, if we're sending a postcard, maybe we're really focusing on getting a listing, right? Or maybe we're focusing on getting a buyer or a new landlord. But just make sure they know you can do everything, right? Because sometimes those landlords don't only have properties to rent, but they're looking to buy an investment property. Sometimes those renters also have something they want to sell, right? And again, don't leave business on the table, and make sure that you're effectively letting everyone know everything that you can do. And again, here are two examples of value propositions that I've written. One for working with buyers and one for working with renters, right? And so, and this is based on me, right? So for me, I'm a valued resource to help my customers find their dream home. From on-market properties to those not even listed yet, I help buyers identify value in the market and realize their goal of home ownership, right? That's a very actionable thing. It effectively describes what I can do, right? I'm a valued resource. I help people find their dream home. I don't only look at what's on the market, but I find things that aren't even listed. I help identify value in the market, and I help them realize their goal of home ownership, right? So if someone asks me, what do you do as a real estate agent? This is what I can say that I do. Again, if you're working in the rental market, I'm a rental expert who can help tenants navigate the fast-paced rental market. My relationship with owners and landlords allow me to place clients in properties before they hit the market, right? Think of how powerful that is to let people know that, right? Especially those of you working in rentals, things are flying off the shelf right now. There's not a lot of inventory. And so the fact that you have access to things before they hit really makes you a valuable resource to potential people looking for a rental apartment. So what I want to do is I want to take about 5 minutes now. We're going to kind of pause, and I want you guys to take a minute and to write down, and again, I would say type this so you have it readily accessible from your computer and stuff like that, and type out, some value statement that you have, right? Like, what do you provide to your clients? And again, if you want to write two, one for working with buyers and one for working with tenants, that's great. If you want to write one for tenants and one for landlords, if you just want to write one, that's okay. But what I'd like you guys to do is, again, we're going to pause for a second here. I'm going to pause the recording, and I'd like for you to write down a value statement that you can make sure that you have in mind and that you can use going forward. Great. So again, thank you guys for sharing your value statements. There are a bunch of different people that we can focus on. And as I mentioned before, I think it's really important to keep everything open as well, right? And so, when you are doing prospecting, you might decide to focus on one group of people, right? To start kind of very specialized. And in doing so, there's probably going to be a bunch of people that you come across that might not fit into that, right? Like if you're prospecting for landlords, you might get someone who's saying, oh, I'm actually looking to rent, right? Either refer it out to someone else or take them, right? Just because it's what you're going after doesn't mean that you have to kind of negate them if it's not exactly what you're looking for. And that ability to pivot, right? And we've talked about this in other trainings. you need to be able to pivot every call you make, right? If you're making a lead network call and they're like, oh, I'm not looking to buy, I'm looking to sell now. Well, you should be able to handle that, right? And the same thing happens with prospecting. But I always say, start by focusing on one group of people, and inevitably you're going to get other people. But you can focus on your sphere of influence. You can focus on landlords, on tenants, on sellers, on buyers. And we're going to talk a little bit about these different groups, right? So if you're going to target your sphere of influence, who are you going to go after, right? You're going to go after your friends and their network. You're going to go after your family and their network. Other Weichert agents, right? And this is one of, I think, the least used, but the kind of lowest hanging fruit, to be connecting with Weichert agents in other markets, right? We can prospect by getting on the phone and calling other Weichert agents, right? Pick some in New Jersey, pick some in Pennsylvania, and just say, hey, I just want to make sure we have a great team of people here in New York. I work in X, Y, and Z areas, and I can help any clients you have looking to move to the city. I'd love to get referrals, and if I have anyone for New Jersey, I'll send them to you, or if I have anyone for Pennsylvania, I'll send them to you. That's a really great way of reaching out to people, and to have people that, hey, a lot of people are moving to New Jersey or moving to upstate New York from the city. Maybe they have stuff to sell, and right, getting those cross references in is really, really great. We can also go after past clients and customers, right? If they're renters, see if they're looking to buy. If they're looking to upgrade, downgrade, kind of whatever it is. So how do we go after these people? So we can go after them by a call or text, right? Because these are people in our network. It's easy to call them, right? Quick phone call. We can send emails, right? You can put together a mass email and send it through KV Core to your kind of people and stuff like that. We have Facebook posts that you can make, right? Squeeze pages, landing pages that are all can be done through the My Weichert system, and you can post to Instagram and stuff like that. So all of these are great things that we can kind of go after. Landlords, right? So who are you going after with landlords? What you want to do if you're working with tenants, or if you want to work with landlords, is to create a database of people that are either open listing landlords, right? And there's a ton of management companies, from Rock Bros to Sky Management, to all these other places across the city. And if you're working in a certain neighborhood, one of the first things that you really want to do is create a database of all the management companies and make sure you're getting all their listings, so you know the inventory and you know what's on the market. We can also go after exclusive owners, right? That can be owners of buildings. We can use Property Shark for that. That can be owners of condo and co-op units. Again, usually condo is a little bit better just because there's more flexibility in renting. And you can have a whole business just helping exclusive owners rent out their properties, right? I have one owner who owns 4 properties in Brooklyn, and almost every year I get 1 or 2 of those rentals, which brings me, between $6,000 and $10,000 a year just from doing 1 or 2 rentals, right? So it's a great way to kind of start building your business, and you've got to go after those people. Different ways of doing that, right? You can look up for rent by owner on Zillow and StreetEasy. You can go into Property Shark and call, email, or text owners. You can do a mass email to a neighborhood and just say, hey, I'm looking for landlords to help out. Or you can make squeeze pages that are specifically looking for how to, or for landlords who have properties that they want to rent. So again, on a couple of these, I've kind of come up with a script, right? These are meant as an example of something you can say, and we kind of want to tailor in our value proposition to these calls that we make. So again, this is, let's say I'm calling Anthony, who's a landlord in Williamsburg. Hi, Anthony, this is Jason Bauer from Weichert Properties. I wanted to see if you had any apartments for rent. In this market, I have many clients and not enough properties to show them. I would love to help you in any way I can to market and rent the properties. Do you use an exclusive agent or distribution list? I'm a neighborhood expert and always have clients and would love to be added, right? And that starts the dialogue, right? This is an easy way to reach out to people. And the biggest thing about prospecting is that it's so easy, right? This is one of the easiest things we can do. We don't have to show properties. We don't have to contact people, right? All we have to do is reach out. And again, this is a numbers game, right? You have to make, let's say, 100 calls to get someone to work with. But if you think about it, the fact that you are creating these leads and these listings, or these landlords to work with, or these buyers or these sellers, whatever it is, means that you are not paying any referral fee, right? And think about that. Think of how much more your income would be if your deals were not through OpCity or Lead Network or one of these other things, right? Those are great ways to build your business. I'm not saying they're not, But the better thing to do is invest time rather than money, right? You guys all have an hour or two a week. And if you don't, this isn't the business for you, right? To do some prospecting, right? And what you can do is you can go into Property Shark, you can pull a neighborhood, start clicking through and getting contact information for landlords and call and do this, right? And keep track of it in a spreadsheet. And you'll see that as you get more comfortable with it, it's easier. And again, what we call this is dialing for dollars, right? Every listing you get, be it a rental, a sale, a buyer, is you making money, right? It's you making money in a couple of weeks or a couple of months, depending on what it is. And so investing an hour or two a week to doing this is so simple, right? And it's going to pay off dividends. Again, tenants, right? So looking after tenants, right? Talk to people who are living in rental buildings, right? We can get a general population of a neighborhood and do a mass email or something like that. RentHop, Craigslist, and Facebook are great ways of going after potential renters. Again, that mass email to a neighborhood saying, hey, have you thought about moving? It's a great time, or at this point, it's probably not a great time, but whatever it is, building squeeze pages or building mail, right? Again, low-hanging fruit. One of the things that if I were an agent, I would be going after are all these extremely expensive rental buildings, right? If you pick one neighborhood and do a search of one bedrooms from, 5 to 10,000 rental buildings, you're going to find that there's a ton of buildings that have that, right? And think about this. If you target just with a mailer, just that one building, think of those people that are paying, $10,000 a month for one bedroom, right? If they were in the city for a year or two, they're probably going to buy something if they're sticking around. And potentially they went directly to the building, so they don't have a buyer's agent, right? That's a great way to take someone and like Harvey was talking about, the life cycle of a client, right? People who are renters turn into buyers. And if you get them in that first buy, you have them down the road, right? And again, I can't tell you how many of my clients came to me as very inexpensive renters, rented something else, got into a relationship, rented something bigger, bought something, sold it, bought something bigger, right? And right there, again, getting them early on, you have about 7 deals coming on, right? And so if we are going after those life cycle clients, which I recommend to do because that's so much better than a one-off rental and you're done with them, you're going to really be building your brand and your business. Again, going after owners, right? Prospecting for potential owners. Go after for sale by owners, right? Again, on one of the last screens, I'm going to be showing you guys the resources, the YouTube videos that kind of tie into all of this. And this was really meant of just waking you guys up to what you should be doing, right? Expired listings, also in that video, a great way. And again, the same thing, the neighborhood, right? Kind of that value proposition that we talked about of, helping owners, right? Like Maria was talking about, let people know that you help owners market their properties off market, maybe, right? That's a great way to get people to talk to you. So again, for sale by owners on Zillow and StreetEasy. You can look up owners of condos of multifamily buildings on Property Shark. Mass emailing and neighborhood mailers, I say, are especially good for going after owners. One of our agents, Christine Farku, actually sent out a mass email to the West Village and potentially is getting a listing off of it, right? And she got 2 listings in the East Village from sending out a mass email. So that's really a great way, right? Best thing, no referral fees due whatsoever. So again, if you want a script, just as an example, hey, Anthony, this is Jason Bauer from Weichert Properties. I wanted to see if you happen to have any interest in selling your property. In this market, I have many clients and not enough properties to show them. I would love to help you in any way I can to market and sell your home. I'm a neighborhood specialist, neighborhood expert, sorry, and I have people looking for a home like yours. Let's meet so I can show you how I can help you take advantage of the market, right? Easy script, right? And these can be, if you're working with a buyer, it's a great time to buy. Interest rates are historically low, whatever it is. Maybe someone's owned, like Harvey's talking about the life cycle. Maybe they own their first property and they're looking to buy their next property and upgrade, right? So you can tailor a script. If you bought your home in the last 5 years and thought about upgrading, now is a great time. We can help you build equity as well as get a lower interest rate, right? And introduce them to Doug, right? Just think of all the ways you can help someone, right? And you need to believe that you can help someone to be effective in this business, right? I know that I can help my buyers find something that they're going to make money on, right? And every single investor that I've worked with, and I can say this from my experience, every single investor that I've helped buy an investment property has made money when they've sold it and built equity and gotten great rental returns, right? Every single one. I believe that. And I know that. And it's a provable fact, right? If you look at all the properties that I've sold to investors, they have made money on them. And you have to have that conviction to be effective in this business, right? And so Maybe it's you've helped people find amazing rental properties and they've loved them. Maybe you've helped people buy their first home and build equity by their next home, right? And whatever that is, you need to be able to effectively market that to people. So again, the last one, buyers, go after renters. I think this is, again, one of the biggest markets that we have. Target rental buildings and send postcards saying, why on earth are you renting? You're spending way too much money, right? The last two clients that I was referred from past clients of mine were people who were renting, whose rents are going up significantly because they got good COVID deals, right? Both over $1,000 a month on one bedrooms. And so they're like, you know what, I should be buying. And they should. And one's in contract, one I'm working with, right? And so mass emails, mailers, squeeze and landing pages. Again, Weichert Lead Network's a great way to start getting some buyers right off the bat. Opcity, Property Boost, whatever this is, right? This is a way to build the people that you're working with. Again, for me, it's important to have a plan and a schedule put together. This is a very simple prospecting plan that kind of hits a bunch of different things. And again, you need to tailor this. In some of the other videos, if you just want to do circle marketing, there's a prospecting plan. If you want to go after only for sale by owner, there's a prospecting plan. But every day, right? And these things really only take an hour or two a day. And so if you add up all these times, and if you're devoting the resources to it, this is about 10 to 12 hours a week, right? It's not that much, right? Following up with open houses on Monday and building your database, sending a mass email takes about 5 minutes, contacting people in new activity and stuff like that. Landlord building, right? Finding new owners and putting them into your database and Property Shark, right? An hour a day, that's all you need. Do a call session of for sale by owners by yourself, right? Weichert agent networking, right? Pick 2 offices, call them and ask for referrals. Do some Facebook and Instagram posts. Do our Thursday call session, right? If you guys aren't doing this call session, which I don't think any of you are, it's a great way to build your network, right? And it's a great way to have time in your calendar every week, 10:30 to 12, to do prospecting, right? Calling people, for sale by owners, whatever it is. Call past clients and let them know what you're doing. Do another email to an additional farm area, letting them know the services you provide. Do some squeeze pages. Takes about 2 minutes to do one, right? Do an open house post and email for any open houses you're having. Follow up with everyone you spoke to on the week, at the end of the day, Friday. Do some Facebook, Instagram posts and preview some properties to do open house on Sunday, right? This is not that hard. It's not rocket scientist. If you want to make money in this business, it's out there, right? There are so many opportunities. There's never been a better time to be a real estate agent in New York City, right? Why? There's a ton of people moving back. Prices are still a little bit lower than they were. Interest rates are at an all-time low and the rental market is insane, right? There are 4 reasons that it's an amazing time to be in real estate. And most real estate agents, they'll get a listing, they'll put it up, they'll just sit there, right? We are active real estate agents. We do things to prospect, we do things to build our business. And that's why so many of our agents are extremely successful. And so many of our agents have been in the business for a long time, right? The average agent has their license for less than 2 years. They get out of the business because they're not successful, because they don't have the leads that we have. They don't have the tools that we have. They don't have the resources that we have, right? And so all it takes is a little bit of time on your end and a little bit of dedication, right? Every week you need to do these small things, right? Put it in your calendar. This is more important than taking on a client. This is more important than taking on a client. I can't tell you, that enough, because this is what's going to get you tons of clients down the road. And again, some of the steps for today, right? Decide what neighborhood you want to target. Pull those zip codes from Cole Realty as a CSV file and import them into your MyWeichert system, right? And some of you might already have this all done. And if you have this done, prepare an email, and maybe it's your first, maybe it's your 5th email to send to that neighborhood. Tell them you're a neighborhood specialist and ask for what you need, right? Tell them you have a buyer or a renter and have they thought about moving, or just tell them how low interest rates are, or pull a market snapshot from Urban Digs, which you guys all have access to, right? All of these videos are done. I'm not going to go over everything today, but there are videos. And again, I'm going to send out all these resources to you. Everything is on my YouTube channel, right? You could never talk to me. And if you do the things that I say to do in these videos, you're going to be successful, right? So if you want to sell or prospect, for sale by owner and expired, the videos there, the steps are there, the slides are there. Neighborhood farming, rent hop with open listings, circle marketing and prospecting, right? So there's a ton of things to do. Get started, get going, and make some money. So thank you guys for your time. I'm going to stop the recording.